we start her off here. We would like her to stand still, but we don't want to be yanking on her head or anything like that. We just want to maybe put a block out there, get her used to the idea of standing still. She's not upset about it, but she just doesn't know what to do. When she does something good, stand still, then we give her a little break, let her process it. We don't expect perfection at this age. We just want them to get used to everything. There's a lot to learn. Brain processing a lot of information. We want our movements to be rhythmic, not erratic. That's how things happen in nature. When things are erratic in nature, it's usually because something dangerous is happening. You want to move it just kind of like the same rhythm a horse would move its tail. See how she very quickly adapts to that. Give it a second. See, she's not upset about it or anything. See that behavior right there? She's blocking me with her head. Horses, like people, have a left side and a right side. And just like people can be left-handed or right-handed, horses are the same way. And so they'll oftentimes, most horses will prefer to have you on the left side as opposed to the right. So when that behavior happens, you just want to put something out here to block it, not to be upset about it or anything, get in a fight with them. We just want to let them know, little by little, it's okay for me to be here. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. See, now she tries to walk off now that the blocking didn't work, but we'll just gather her back up and we'll give her a second to process me being here in this space. This is one of the scariest areas for the horses to be in. Right in this area here. Now that she stopped, did a good job, we're going to let her process that a little bit. See how she naturally wants to block again. She's so used to people, she finds comfort when she comes in close. But you also notice, like I said, she puts her head over on this side. She naturally wants to block me and put her on the side she's more comfortable with. So I'm going to ask her again. I expect she's going to try to block again, so I'm going to put something out here. See if we can get her just a little bit more comfortable with me being on this side. Now she's looking away. Every little movement means something. We have to pay attention to that. So if she can't block me, then she looks to get away, which is natural. Again, we don't want to push it yet because we want her to understand that it's okay for me being here on this side. If we can accomplish this at this early age, then later on when she's full grown, it'll be perfectly acceptable for her. Let's see if we can get this rope going a little bit, see how she behaves. She wants to move her feet, but she's standing still, so we're going to give her a good job there. We'll give her a second to process it. Let her know as long as she stands still, then we're going to reward her for that. And I'm just looking at her face, looking for her face to soften, her eyes to kind of or ears to perk up and looking for that softness in her eyes before we move on. Lets me know that she's comfortable with everything. There you go. Now she shows some curiosity, so I'm going to reward that curiosity by stopping. That's what we want. We want her to be curious, not afraid. As we get back to it, she still wants to move off a little bit, so we're going to block her with that halter and lead rope. Ask her to stand still. She does. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now we're going to introduce something else. This may cause some fear. We're not trying to scare her, but we're trying to educate her that when something might be fearful, that we want her to be able to stand still and look at it instead of trying to run away from it. So she gives me her eye and her ear, so I'm going to take it away. Notice her eye and her ear focused on the object, so I'm going to take it away. Give her a little bit of control in the situation for her. So again, I'm going to present it. She looks at it, so I'm going to take it away. A little fear, but now we're going to use that little bit of curiosity. I don't want to pull on the rope. I want to let her know if she needs to get away, she can. But I still do want to encourage her to stand still, even though it's not something she's comfortable with yet. Really want to encourage that curiosity, so she's looking away. Just try to reassure her, trying to avoid what's making her uncomfortable. So I'm just gonna keep trying to reassure her until she shows some curiosity, maybe a little courage. That was pretty good. There we go. Very good. Put her nose on it, so I'm gonna take it away for a second, let her kind of think about it, or at least process it. What you'll see a lot of times is people just come right in and start touching them all over with it. They say they're desensitizing them, and I want my horses to be sensitive. I want them to, their senses are better than ours. So if there's danger out there, I want them to recognize it and let me know this is dangerous. But I also still need to educate them about things that exist in our world, so they know that this isn't something that they have to be afraid of. It's pretty harmless, actually. I'm just going to keep applying the stimulus and let her kind of get used to it, figure it out, feel it. Again, and then when she shows some courage and curiosity, then I'm going to let her kind of step into it a little bit there. There we go. That's what we want right there. Very good. She's getting more more comfortable with it, I'll start introducing it to different parts of her body. I touch her all over with it so she recognizes that it's not something that's going to injure her. You want to activate that part of the brain that registers the smells, the sounds, the feelings of things, and then activates that parasympathetic nervous system. So we want to be able to introduce things without activating that fight or flight. She gets to realize, oh, this is a pretty comfortable deal. There's nothing real bad about that. And then as she gets better at it, we might even want to increase the speed at which we feed it to her. So, like maybe something like that might scare her, but she didn't run off, which is really good. This is a blind spot form. They can't see right in this area, so she can hear it. She knows there's something there, but she didn't run off, which is great. They naturally want to be able to move their feet. That's what keeps them safe when danger is present. She wants to step off, so we're going to let her. And then when she stops, I stop. You notice she's licking and chewing, which that means it went from that sympathetic fight or flight response to her digestive system kicks back on. She starts to salivate, so now she's activating her the mouth and tongue, which is associated with eating and digestion. So that indicates that her level of stress just went down. So she stopped her feet and went back into that parasympathetic state, that rest or digest state. We're going to introduce it again. We're going to check the same area. She stands still that time, which is good. So we're going to reward her by removing the stimulus. Something might even go over her head one day. That's pretty good for a little one like that. That type of stimulus. Not freak out. Give her a second to process all that. Now, remembering how she tried to block me from approaching that side last time, I might want to just introduce the stimulus right there. That's pretty good on that side. You have to do things on both sides of these horses because, like I say, they may learn and register it on one side of the brain, but that doesn't mean they do it on the other side. Try to be real conscious of her body movement. So anytime she shows that type of courage and curiosity, I want to reward her by taking the stimulus away so that she's avoiding. But when she starts looking at it, that's when I want to put some space between her and the object so she feels like she has some control over it. That as long as she keeps her attention on what's bothering her, that it begins to go away. We're teaching her how to self-soothe. Maybe one day on the trail she sees something she's never seen before, like a bicycle or a motorcycle. If we could teach the habits now to stay put and look at uncomfortable stimulus, then hopefully that'll kick in when we're looking at at something scary that she's never seen before. So we want to develop this as a behavior, not so much just getting her used to bags, but we want that behavior of standing still and being calm. She's bothered by that, so we're going to show that to her. And what we're waiting for is chewing. So now we know that she went from a sympathetic state of fight or flight back to a parasympathetic state, rest and digest. So she's producing saliva again. She starts chewing. Her digestive system just kicks back on. Basic equine neuroscience will tell us that right now, in the moments after she licks and chews, she gets a hit of endorphins, feel-good chemicals, and now her brain is processing what just happened. And so we want her to associate standing still and calming down as the proper response to uncomfortable stimulus. So it feels better to do what she's doing now. Now we put it in the same area, and she may not like it. She didn't run off. Good. Move her feet a little bit. I'm noticing as that stimulus is directly above her head, that seems to be the part that's most uncomfortable. So we're just rhythmically going to go back and forth to get her used to the stimulus being in that area right there. She's doing pretty good. Now what we want to do, we want her to be able to move her feet in a direction on command. So I'm going to use the same tool so she gets used to recognizing that it's intention that moves her feet, not just stimulus. So I can wave this around her and all that, and she'll stand still. Or I can intend for her to move. So I'm going to focus in this area, just behind the shoulder, on the under the rib here on her left side, and I'm going to start focusing on an intention for her to move her feet. I want to start with the least amount of pressure possible, which is intention. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to physically aim or focus into that area. If she still hasn't moved her feet, I'm going to cluck or smooch. If she still hasn't moved her feet, then I'm going to start increasing the energy with the stimulus. She moves her feet, so I stop. And I'm just holding. I want to make sure that she can separate the intention from the tool. So now I'm going to touch her a little bit to know that just me introducing the stimulus doesn't mean go. So I'll go through the same process again. I'll intend. I'll focus. I'll increase energy. And when she does right, I take the stimulus away. Good. I'm not asking her to speed up. I'm not asking her to do anything. All we're doing is giving her that gear. So when I put it in first gear, I want you to walk off. Now we'll try from the other side. So I'm going to block her. I'm going to intend. I'm going to focus. I'm going to increase energy incrementally and rhythmically. Good. I want to get her used to changing directions. So I'm going to remove the stimulus, replace it on the other side of her. See if I can get her shoulders to move. Very good. Now if I want her to increase gait, I'm going to have to increase energy. So I'm going to create a shape for myself. I'm going to increase the tempo of my verbal command. That's often what they do the first few times. There we go. Say what I want, so I'm going to reward her. A lot of times when they don't know what to do, they'll just try to move their feet quickly to get away from it. But she found the right tempo, so I'm not here to lunge her and exercise her. I just want, now we're just gave her a second gear. First gear, second gear. We're going to try the same thing on the other side. First gear. Now second gear. Better find that tempo. Very good. And release. Excellent. That's exactly what we're looking for. She's licking and chewing. Parasympathetic state. I think that's a good place to end her session.